Happy Monday, everyone. You're listening to Daddy Issues. I'm Dean McDermott. I'm a daddy of 6. With me, as always, is Adam Hunter, who's a new daddy, and Nicky Paris, who needs a daddy.
That's right. I'm taking applications. Send them in. Fax them, email them. I don't give a shit.
Send them to the Comedy Store
Yeah.
on Sunset Boulevard. Guys, I am thrilled.
Yeah.
Our guest today,
I'm really, really excited.
awesome, beautiful, funny,
Charming. Glowing.
sexy as hell.
Yeah.
I can say that.
I think I have my first hard-on for a woman right now under the table. So.
That's what that is?
Yes. I know.
I thought it was the leg of the table.
I'm bringing the brajol.
Bringing the brajol for our guest, Lisa Ann, ladies and gentlemen. Lisa Ann.
It's great to be here.
Welcome, darling.
Well, thank you. You know, Nikki and I have been trying to get this together for quite some time.
Yeah.
One of my favorite people sitting across from me right here, and so happy to see your life in Los Angeles just thriving.
So you guys know each other?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like best friends.
We're buddies. Yeah.
What?
Who do you think had the pull to get me in here?
Yeah.
This is my girl.
How come I didn't know?
Yes.
So tell us, how did you and Nikki meet?
Well, do you want to tell them?
No, you tell.
Okay, so we met at South by Southwest in Texas. And
The
Lisa
music
was hosting
festival.
a show called Paid or Pain, where comedians would perform and they would have to do a set in front of an audience. And if they did well, they got paid. And if they didn't do well, Lisa would do an S&M act to them.
Oh my god.
Oh, my God. I should have got into comedy then.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
Dean is new to stand-up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you definitely would have got
4
whipped.
months. Yeah. Yeah.
Go on.
but it was
on
also a
purpose, though.
tough crowd at times because they did like to see the torture. So
Oh,
sometimes
sure.
the comedian was decent, and they still wanted the
They still
pain
wanted to
instead.
see
They
it.
didn't
Do you-
want to see people get paid.
Do you think some of the comedians like threw the show though? Do you think they bombed on purpose?
Oh, we
so
had
they
some
could
really
get...
bad comedians, though. Yeah, we had a lot of walk-on bad comedians that
Yeah.
deserved it.
Yeah.
If I was gonna get whipped by Lisa Ann for a bad show, I'd do a bad show.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So then we met in South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, but then we were both in New York. So I was living both places, New York and LA at the time, and I was doing this same show once a month in New York City, and Nikki started to come in regularly, and we hit it off, and we
Wait.
started to become very social outside of the comedy scene.
Did Nikki
Yeah.
get whipped or not?
I didn't get whipped. I
No.
actually didn't perform.
He
I
didn't
was
perform,
he
helping
just
to
hung out.
produce the show. Yeah.
And when?
wow.
How long ago was this?
Oh, man, it's been
Couple
3 years
yeah.
already. Can you believe how
wow.
time flies? 3
Wow.
years.
And you haven't aged a minute. I, however, have, as you can see.
Did you know who Lisa Ann was before you met her?
I knew of her. Yeah,
Right.
she's a legend, of course.
Mm.
And you helped me get a lot of street cred. A lot of people ask me about you. I'm like, she's my friend. Leave her alone.
I like to
Alright?
give the right
yeah,
people
you totally
some
get
props.
street cred if you're friends with Lisa.
My little brother's going to Sexotica in Jersey, and he's brokenhearted. You're not going to be there.
I'm
What
so
is-
sorry.
what is-
Exotica.
He's taking Accessoride there.
Wait, your brother,
Oh, he's going to love it. Okay, here's how
I love. Have you met
Here's
his
how I
brother?
explain, not yet, but here's how I explain
I love
Exotica events. I call it a porno garage sale. Okay, so
Yeah.
picture that. It's like a Comic-Con, but we stand there and we sell all of our merch. And literally, you see these girls rolling in with a suitcase. It's a very cheesy looking setup with a printed out thing that falls off all day with your name. That's the only place you know where to go. It's a cheesy looking table with like curtain draped around it. You throw all your stuff up there, you sell as much as you can. And the next girl rolls in with a suitcase. So what else can I call it but a porno garage sale?
That's
Yes,
perfect.
and
It feels like some of the like Comic-Con things. I've
And
gone
his
to
brother's-
3, so you
Very much
you
so.
put out your headshots and
Yes.
you just hope someone comes.
well,
and
Nikki's
pays
brother's gonna
15
roll in
bucks
as
a run.
well.
Yeah.
So,
He's rolling in with the chub.
Yeah.
so
yeah.
your brother's a paraplegic,
He has
and
spinal
he's
muscular
gonna
atrophy.
go, and then he's gonna like give a pocket pussy. Like what happens?
Well, for him, the girls will all come from around the booth and sit on his lap and
Right.
take photos with him. And we never charge anybody that's disabled. I never have. So you come over and you have a lot of fun with them. You give them special attention. They always go right to the front of the line.
I'm about to go right
you know.
to a wheelchair.
I'm
now.
gonna
Right?
break your
Yeah.
legs in the parking lot.
Show up.
We should show up for the three
yeah,
of us.
you're gonna need this tape when we're done with you. All right.
I'll
Good.
pitch in
For
mine
Exotica.
too. Okay.
Awesome. It's gonna be a line of like. It's gonna be no actual able people. It's gonna just be all like.
Everyone in wheelchairs.
Everyone's in
and
wheelchairs.
crutches.
Just
Who's
shows up.
taking your brother?
Okay, so my brother has a para that was been with him since he was in kindergarten.
Okay.
And they're going together. I said to my mom,
Oh.
"Don't you think that's a little odd that they were friends since kindergarten and now they're going to a sex convention together?"
I think it's fantastic.
So does my mom.
They're
She
going to
thinks
get
it's
so
great.
Yeah,
much
I
attention.
think it's
These girls
great.
are going to give them VIP passes to get in places.
Yeah.
The girls are going to be all over them. They're going to love it.
Yeah, he's gonna love. I don't know if he's able to touch his own dick, but I think he'll be able to after this experience. I think
Somebody
he's
will
figuring
touch
out.
it for him
Yeah,
for sure.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, one of the girls will be super giving.
Honestly, that's what I'm hoping for. Is your headset going in and out? All right, hold on.
So Dean, how
Yes,
was?
sir.
So you were in Hawaii.
I'm
We-
good now.
We were in Maui for 10 days.
What was that
Oh,
like?
how was it?
I saw the
Maui-
pictures of you and Tori kissing by the pool.
Maui is amazing, but going to Maui with 5 kids is like going to an orgy in your honor with your 5 kids. Because it's like Maui's beautiful and there's a beautiful ocean and there's like
Why would there be an
paddle-
orgy in your honor, by the way?
I don't know, but that's the only thing I can think of. It's like, hey, Dean, like just to make it worse.
It's
right?
a new
like,
live
Dean,
event.
People are having
No,
sex
next person that has an orgy, please make it in honor of.
Dean.
Dean McDermott. We're having
But
an
you
orgy.
have paradise
Yeah.
right in front of you and like scuba diving and paddleboarding and then it's like, hey Dad, come and watch me do shitty cannonballs in the pool. Oh my God.
But you were pretending to be impressed, though, right?
You have to. You have to. Because if you like I have 6 kids.
How
right?
much
So,
stuff do you have to pack with 6 kids to a trip for 10 days?
A lot.
Wow, I bet.
A lot of stuff.
A lot.
So, and Xanax and a lot of Mai Tais. But it's like I've seen so many bad cannonballs and like God bless them. Like they're so excited about it, right? But I've been for 21 years. My oldest is 21, so it's like I've seen all this stuff so many times
did you
that
and
it
Tori
just
have any
doesn't.
date night alone? No babysitter?
We had one date night. We went to Wolfgang Puck's restaurant,
Nice.
which was fantastic.
I saw the
Absolutely
pictures in Us
fantastic.
Weekly of you guys by the pool. That was hot.
Yeah. We stole moments. It was really nice, and I love scuba diving. The scuba diving was great.
Yeah.
But
I love
it's
Maui
just-
because it's so chill.
Oh.
It's not a late night place, so you're not tempted to go out late.
No,
You just
not
get
at all.
up and Cheeseburgers in Paradise is a great little spot for burgers.
We left the property once just to go to a luau.
That's it.
But
But no,
just-
there were times like when you were texting me like, "Help." Like, I'm like, aren't you in Maui?
He's like, I'm on a surfboard paddling out.
You're like,
into
I
the
don't know if
Pacific.
I'm going to come back. I might lose reception. If you don't hear from me again, I'm
Yeah.
still on the paddleboard.
But isn't Tori helping
I'm
you?
going down to 200
Isn't-
feet. My
Isn't
next
she
dive. and I'm
helping
gonna
you watch the
narc
kids
out.
or like?
Oh yeah, no, it's just of course.
But with that many, 2 people only have the 4 eyes amongst the 2 of them, and then you get 6 of them, right?
Yeah, but
You're
it's just
outnumbered.
Five.
Yeah, we
Five.
only took
Yeah.
5. Yeah, Jack was in Vancouver. I spoke incorrectly, so we had 5 of them. But think about being at and it's the 4 Seasons too. Like it's just
So nice.
totally baller and nice.
Great brunch at that
but-
4 Seasons in Maui.
Yeah,
Oh,
but you still have to be in parent mode all the time still.
Right.
I love that you have
So-
so many kids, you don't even know who came on vacation. You're like, who was there?
Yeah.
You have to do like a head count, like
And
the
then,
Von Trapps.
and then one of your
in
kids
the
got
lobby.
sick, right? Got staph infection or something? Or
Yeah,
what?
Stella got stung by a bee. Liam got stung by a bee in the
Oh,
bottom of his foot,
no.
and then Stella got stung in the palm of her hand, and she ended up getting a little bit of staph infection.
So
her
is she allergic?
hand Swole up. No, Liam is, but nothing happened to Liam. But it
Wow.
was Stella. Stella's hands, like, and her arms swole up, and she had a red line going up here.
oh, once you get the red line, you got to go and get that shot.
Yeah, so
100%.
we went to the hospital, and
That
we
means
were
it's
supposed
going up
fly
to the
that day.
bloodstream,
Yeah.
and whatever the venom is going to get in. As soon as you see a line from a bite on your arms going anywhere near your main veins, you got to go to the
Yeah.
doctor.
Yeah.
Like I feel like your hospitals are now like cheers for you. Like you go in, everyone's like,
I
"Hey,
know.
Dean."
Dean.
I was at the hospital with Dean.
I'm
I
like Norm.
tried to bring him Taco
Oh my
Bell.
God, Nikki was the cutest. Before we went to Vancouver, because Tori was filming Beverly Hills 90210 in Vancouver. Before I went to Vancouver, I was in the hospital for 6 days with pneumonia.
Oh,
I was by myself. I had 3 of the kids because Tori took 2 of them to Vancouver, so I had 3 of the kids, and then I got hit with pneumonia out of nowhere, and it ended up hospitalizing me. And Nikki came and brought me toothpaste and toothbrush
And
and
then-
deodorant.
that's my boy.
And then left with the nurse.
Yeah.
And he got a date out of it.
I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Nuh-uh.
There was a really cute volunteer at the hospital that night. And we went on a date. Yeah. It didn't work out because he
Is an asshole.
no, he had a lot of problems. So like most people that come into my life, as you know, I'm a fucking orb.
Wait a second. Did you
No,
pick,
no, no.
people.
Like
Did you pick
most
him up?
people. Just don't blame it on you. Just most
No, it's other people.
It's people in general
Yes.
are off.
Yes.
Off.
Right.
Did you pick him up on the psych ward? Is that?
Well, he told me that he. Oh my God, I don't know if I should be saying this, but here I go. So he was telling me that he like worked for a psychiatrist's office, that he was a receptionist, but sometimes that he did procedures. I was like, I'm sorry, what person in a doctor's office that's a receptionist? So hold on, let me put away this fax and do a procedure in room 2.
That's
So there was
weird.
like a couple
Yeah.
red flags, and he was telling me just a
Because
lot of things.
my dad's a doctor, so sometimes he'll let me.
Yeah, let me
Let
take
me
out the
do small
appendix.
stuff.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
He found
No,
out he
but just a basic
He wasn't really
procedure.
a volunteer, just some guy roaming around the hospital.
Right. He just wanted to hold my balls and have me cough. So
Listen, if you don't keep dating, you don't have great stories.
Yeah.
That's why single people have to date, because we have the best stories.
Are you single?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
How are you single?
I just choose to be. I like my life this way. I've been in one serious relationship in my entire life. When I was
How
in my
long?
20s,
For
we
how long
lasted
was
for
that?
7 years.
7 years, okay.
And
Substantial.
ironically, just last night, my girlfriend is helping me. A friend of mine is helping me clean out this closet. You know, you have this closet, and you're like, I know there's boxes in here
Nikki
from
was
when
in
I
it for
moved.
years.
From since 2005, they've been closed.
I was in the closet and in your closet.
Yeah, you go.
So we went
I've
through these
seen it.
photos and we found my wedding album, and it was
Whoa, whoa.
so much fun to look through it because I'm not throwing that away. I
You
mean,
were
come
married.
on.
This is the 7-year relationship.
Yes,
you were married for
was
7
married.
years.
To
Okay.
the bouncer at the strip club.
Yes.
see.
You read the book, or you read some
I-
footnotes on the internet?
I read your Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I don't like. I've complained to Wiki. Why do dudes get real estate on my wiki page? Like, they didn't put any effort in. That's my wiki page. If that means you can give me the wrong last name, you could say all these awful things about me, but I want 2 things removed. It's the husband and the Justin Brent kid. Why are these guys getting real estate on my page? That's my page. They don't ever respond back, by the way. I write these harassing emails all the time.
Well, Wikipedia, I tried writing my own stuff, and they said I was lying about everything.
You can't.
Really?
By the way,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to change your own. You have to hire somebody that
I
goes
know.
in and
I
changes
was
it.
just like, I don't have time.
You have to
So
hire someone at Wikipedia.
They kept telling me I wasn't on like Chelsea lately. I'm like, here's the video. They're like, well, that could be doctored.
What? Who would do that?
Who would do that?
Some annoying kid like in Canada, 18-year-old, who like wants to tell me that my life didn't happen. I'm like, okay, all right.
I'm gonna out you that we did it on a green screen in my studio apartment.
Someone's like,
And
but
I'm going to spend the time trying to reach Wikipedia as well, which is not an easy
it was
task.
it was like every credit I had, they said it was like I was fraudulent. I was like, all right, I don't have time for that. I
Oh,
was getting
they
mad.
don't believe in you.
I know.
They don't believe me. That's
I-
upsetting.
I think it was my wife doing it actually. I don't know, a false, just being a complete asshole.
Did you like being married?
I did. That's one thing I did. I loved being married. I loved cooking, taking care of things, being just like what I called the household manager. I really enjoyed that whole aspect, and we shared space well, and that was what was great about it.
That's
we
important,
got
sharing
divorced
space well.
at 30. And I've been single ever since. And I'm in the flow. I've got my friends. I've got my life the way I want it. It's very simple. But down the road, I definitely want to pick up the momentum on dating because my friends like the stories. So I still have to continue that.
But you were the
quest.
stripper and he was the bouncer. So
Yep.
it's like a modern day version of like the bodyguard.
Very much so. Very much so.
You're like
Exactly.
kind of
You're like Whitney Houston, but a lot less sweaty.
Yes. Yes.
and so
Thank God.
Did you ever do the scene where you throw the scarf up over the saber?
Did not, but
You
should
didn't do
have.
that? You should have.
Should have. For sure. For sure.
So dating, do you find because of what you do you find men are intimidated by that?
Well, 100%.
Yeah.
And also, and we can swear, correct?
You can do
Fuck
whatever
us.
you
Yeah.
want
Okay,
here.
okay,
Yeah.
good. Dudes need to understand that you can't just bring dick anymore. And especially if you're dealing with me, don't just bring dick. You got to bring more to the table than dick, okay? I can get dick.
Right.
I can text right now 10 people. We'll see who responds fast. Within an hour, I can give dick at my house.
11
That's
will
what my
show
life
up.
is like. So when I'm dating, I want to
You have
say,
3 right
I
here.
want to just come up and be forward and say things to people like, you need to be more than a dick, okay? You need to do more. But then you worry, they're so intimidated by the experiences that you've had on camera. And most people need to understand that's very different. Being intimate with somebody alone by choice and having nobody tell you what you're doing in the scenario and having all these extra people around, it's totally different. So I get it. I get the intimidation factor because guys watch the movies and go, oh, I'll never be like that. But you know what? That guy's not like that either. He's on PEDs. He's taking Viagra. He's injecting his penis. Like,
What-
they're all
what-
doing.
what?
That's
You
a thing in the
inject-
business
you
now.
inject your
They
penis?
You've had a few
With-
horror stories.
With
Yes.
what? What do you inject it with?
It's a formaldehyde, some sort of mix that they inject, and it makes it like uber hard. And you'll notice it in scenes when the guy is still completely hard after he comes. He's still rock hard. You're like, okay, that guy injected.
I had no idea they did. Did you know that?
No, but let me get their numbers.
You're looking
I
for
just
an
want to get some
injection.
formaldehyde.
Sounds like a plan here.
So dating, yeah, not easy, but I think it's a lot easier for me now. I think the world's eyes are more open. Plus, I have this great career with Sirius XM doing sports radio.
That's right. Your
And
fantasy football stuff.
yeah, and
But
so
then
I've,
you go
You
I've-
have a Lisa Ann jersey on right now.
yeah, I do, right?
But you retired and then unretired, right?
I retired and I unretired.
In 2014.
You're like
Yep.
the Jay-Z of porn.
And I did enough movies in this short period of time that Brazzers has some scenes to come out. I told everybody I'll shoot till July and then I'm going to completely focus back on fantasy football and radio. And then I'll see how I feel. If I find that I want to, do this or that. But it's an interesting thing. Leaving the business gave me 3 years to really learn about the world. And I think I learned more about life and human interaction and people in a most beautiful way. And then when I went back, I was almost jarred because I realized that same experience taught me so much about myself that it almost seemed arbitrary to be doing something at this point in my life that's just for the money. It's not that I'm doing it for any sort of clout or ego, or when I was younger, I was completely insecure. And then when I came back, I realized, wow, this is almost weird now.
Right.
I've gotten to see that I'd rather make less money doing something, but work with people that really inspire me and that have good lives and things to talk about and love their families. And you don't get a lot of that in the adult business.
Right. So the adult business for you wasn't really a passion. Like, I'm an actor and I'm passionate about acting, and I feel that draw.
For me, it was really survival. I was out on my own really young. I started dancing and I met all these porn stars that were coming into clubs, feature dancing. And I thought, this is the angle. I can do this on the road forever and not see the same customers all the time. The industry was fun for me. It allowed me to fill a passport, and travel all over the world. But it was always, what I realize now, something I did for the money. And something that, though I enjoyed the lifestyle, I was never really a partier. I don't really drink. I'm just a weed smoker. I don't love the gossip and the cattiness, so I didn't fit into that role. I never had any real friends in the business. My friends have always been outside of the industry. And so it was really this coming back that made me see, like, oh, I get this a bit more now. And the business has been so good to me, and my fans have been so incredible. But working for Sirius and meeting people that actually love waking up every morning and just like today, I first text in the morning is, oh, so-and-so died. And it's another girl in the business, which is a text that you get in the business once every 2 weeks, And a lot of it is, I say to people, you make your bed, you lay in it. Okay, if you're going to continuously beat up your body, do drugs, drink every day, you're eventually going to die. I mean, that's just it. And I can see a girl and say, I bet you this is the last time we all see her alive. And there's nothing you can do, because anytime I've tried to push a girl into rehab, offered to pay for her to go, this is a battle that someone has to fight on their own sometimes, and they have to reach that breaking point where they want
have to reach their bottom.
And one thing I want to touch on, which a lot of people don't know about you, and it's one of my favorite things about you, is that you'd be an amazing mother, first of all, if you ever had a kid, because you're so maternal. What a lot of people don't know is that there's been a lot of people in the industry who you've helped manage their finances and make smart investments.
Yes. And those are the girls that I still stay in touch with, and I'm super, super proud. And I just got to see another one of the girls that I've helped finally bought her first townhouse.
I'm happy that you met Dean, because he needs help.
Yeah. You take a look at my books after the show.
It's funny you said the maternal thing, because my friend has a 2-year-old, he has twins that are 10, and they come with me every year to do my walk to end Alzheimer's in Huntington Beach, and we do it every October. And last year at the walk, Cabe said to his dad, "Is Lisa famous?" And he said, "She is." "Why?" He said, "Well, if she wasn't famous, she should be a mom."
Aww.
That's the nicest thing a 10-year-old could say about you.
And then did you show him any of your MILF porn?
No, he's 10. Stop. This guy.
No, just...
These jokes are going to end in about 10 years when your daughter's 10. Okay?
Right.
Wow,
That'll all end soon. You think it's funny now?
Just wait.
So yeah, it's been an adventure, but I really I love doing sports. I love doing radio. I love talking. I love following the news, and I'm being able to engage on a podcast. But the business coming back this time was much darker than I remembered it, and that's only because I've become much lighter.
Yeah. And do you feel like you didn't have that emotional connection to it because you felt in a way that I've done this already?
Yeah, but I also was saddened by when I came back and saw directors and camera crew people and people I hadn't seen in, let's say, 3-4 years. And they were kind of at the exact same place in their life. They're complaining about money. They're drinking all the time. And I'm like, wow, I've been gone for almost 4 years. Like, how can this be? I felt like I was banging my head on the wall, like insanity. It's the same thing. And I look at those people now as, wow, you make more money in a month than some people I know make in a year. Mm-hmm. And you're complaining you're broke every day when you're on set. I don't understand. What are you doing wrong? So that was heavy. It kind of took the fantasy out of it. I was like, oh, I just want to come on. We have some great sex. This is going to be awesome. But I forgot about all the noise. I forgot about the catty gossiping with the makeup artists. I forgot about this. I forgot about that. And I was like, I could just have sex at home. I think it'd be easier.
And be comfortable.
It doesn't sound unlike a regular film set as well.
Nope.
The
I've done those.
And the egos. And
hard to manage.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And sometimes you just like, it's great. The money that I make is amazing, but oh my God, I don't want to be here with these people.
Any news on 90210, speaking of which?
No, haven't heard anything yet. I know I was listening to the podcast with Russell.
Yeah.
And you were saying that it got picked up for season 2. That was just something that somebody put out.
Oh, okay.
So can
Yeah.
I tell you that that's the show that made me move to California?
Really?
That show changed my life.
From
Talk to
Pennsylvania.
me.
90210 changed my life. Like, I was in Pennsylvania as a young girl. They graduated high school in 1990, right?
I believe so.
Yes, that's when I graduated high school.
Yeah, because
So
you're
by-
72 towards 73. Yep.
So by the time I was like 14, 15 and the show was on regularly, I started to really scold my parents about things. And I don't know why this was my response, but looking back now that the show has come back on, my friends and I have been talking about it. And I can remember like things like, why did we live in Pennsylvania when they got to like walk out of class and walk across a courtroom and they had tank tops on and they had
In
convertibles
December.
open?
And it's December.
And I remember that they had a cordless phone. I was like, why do they have a cordless phone and we don't have a cordless phone? And so from that age till graduation of high school, I was just counting down the days to move to California.
Wow.
And I did everything I could to make sure I could save enough money, bought a one-way ticket, came out here and never went back.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that show.
I'll have to
It was
tell
the
Tori
weather,
that.
it was the style, it was the life. I was so enthralled with California because of 90210.
That's very cool. Did you watch the reboot?
Of course I did. My
And-
friends all watched. We watched it on Skype. So we all had our computers by us.
No way.
And then we had it on TV. And then we talk at commercials and we talk about different scenarios
That's
that we remember
adorable.
from growing up. And we were just so into it. Like it's, yeah.
By the way, in that first
That's
episode, Tori, her stay-at-home husband turns down
Ivan Sergey.
the hockey job.
Yes.
Was that based on you? Did you turn down a broadcasting hockey job?
No. I would love a hocky broadcasting job. Are you
Of course
kidding?
you are. You're from Canada.
Oh my God. No, but the fact that he was a hockey player was a bit of my input.
Okay.
Because
But
I just thought it'd be interesting.
were there jobs you've turned down where Tori's like, what are you turning this down
No,
for?
hell no. No,
Oh.
I haven't. No.
Oh, I
No,
was
I knew
wondering.
people were gonna. You're the first person to ask about that, and I thought I'd get a lot more
Oh, sorry.
flack about that. But no, I haven't turned down jobs because it was portrayed that it was beneath him, and I've never turned down a job.
You should be on that show, by the way. Could we start like a
He doesn't
online-
have your charm.
He has to watch the kids. What are you talking about?
Ivan Sergey is awesome. I love Ivan, and
Yeah.
you know what? He was so nervous because every scene and every script he'd read, he's like, "Oh man, is Dean okay with this? I don't want to portray him in a bad light. I just feel I don't know what to do." He was really sweet.
Really? He was nerd? What a pussy.
No, you're an asshole.
fucking actor,
You're
man.
such an asshole. Yeah, but he's portraying someone who's still alive. Like,
Whatever.
I'm a real person.
He's getting, they cast him for a reason. Come on.
I have a crush on Ian's earring.
How can you
Ian.
not? And you know what?
It's
He
Ian.
looks so good. I mean, when the first episode, my friends and I were just like, "Oh, he looks kind of the same." Like
He hasn't changed. No.
right away. We place bets all the time, so I'm like $5. His wife is cheating on him on this trip when they go away, and she was.
And she was.
Wow.
And so, like, we were
Nice.
like, laying it out there. This is you don't watch your TV with your friends on Skype and
No.
on video
If-
chat. It's so much fun.
We're coming over for
We
the
should-
so
season
much fun.
2.
Yes.
What show should we Skype, the three of us? What show should we watch and Skype together?
It's so fun.
Downtown Abbey. No.
Yeah, I don't
Broad
know.
City.
I don't know if this is gonna work.
Well, what do you watch?
I watched all the Marvel, like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist and all those ones. I'm a big Marvel. nerd.
Iron Fist, weren't you in that?
No. Get it. Sorry, flew over my head. What do you watch?
I watch a lot of How to Get Away with Murder with Viola Davis, which I love when she has the wig off and she's sweating like Whitney and she gets like cracky. I love that. 90210 is my new
90210, your new jam.
obsession.
Wait, did you go back and watch all the old ones? Because you were a baby when the show was real.
I've seen
You weren't
bits
even
and
here.
pieces. I haven't seen the whole thing in one piece, but I've seen the reboot from start to finish.
Oh, we should go somewhere on a snowstorm and just watch it for like a week straight.
Oh, when and where?
in
I'll
the
bunker down
snowstorm.
with
Yeah,
you.
we'll
Let's
bunker
do
down.
it. Okay.
Our kids, because they didn't know the original, so they're going backwards. So they watched the reboot, and it fascinated them because they want to know. It's like, okay, how did you get to here?
Yeah.
So now they're starting to watch the
Which
original.
is
Oh,
neat
that's
because they
cool.
did put that in one of the episodes where they were watching it.
Yeah.
The kids, yeah.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
one
You,
thing that I love, one of my favorite things you said to me one time is that so many people obviously want to be with you. And how could they not? You're a goddess. And one of the quotes that you said is that it's like having sex with an Olympian athlete.
Yes,
and that people can't perform. So do
Yes.
people disappoint you a lot in the bedroom?
It's not that they disappoint me. We just never even get there. It's the amount of dudes that come at me on a daily basis, of course, social media and any other way, and think that they can like jump in the ring. And I'm like, dude, I'll ruin your sexual future because you're going to fail and then you're going to be scarred for life. And then you're not going to want to
judges.
I will crush you.
I will crush you.
like
Why would
Drago.
you do that? Like, I'm not getting into the ring with Tyson. I know better. You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing? Stay in your lane, people. The random dude on Twitter that's like, yo, can we hook up? I'm like, we probably could, but you probably can't.
Wow.
I'm just gonna tell you, because even in scenes, there was a period of time where when the MILF thing first happened, the industry was going out finding all these young guys, and they just wanted guys that nobody knew of, and these guys would be so excited to work for me, and I'd beg the producers, like, please don't make me work with this guy. He's gonna fail. If they fail, we don't get paid. Nobody gets
What?
paid. Nobody gets
Whoa.
paid.
No.
Nobody gets paid on a
You mean
porno
like,
set.
You mean like failing, like nutting too early or not being able to get up? Or...
All of those things. You
That's
got it.
considered
But what does
failing?
that have to do
It's
with
fail.
you?
That's the thing. So as the girl, you want to make sure they want you to lock in everyone's paychecks. They want you to do the extra legwork. Like, do I got to be like super romantic to this guy? We got to go in a room
That's
alone.
shitty.
And to me, the visual I always picture when a guy is having a tough time getting wood is the Wile E. Coyote just pushing rope up a hill. I don't know why, but that's my visual. And so when the guy isn't looking, I'll look over at the director and be like, I'm pushing fucking rope up a hill right now. And I know we got to get paid, so I got to try and figure out how to get it up there. And I mean, it's a fucking nightmare. So after a couple of years of that, I was like, I'm done. I won't work with anybody new that hasn't been with me, that I know doesn't do this on that level where he's not affected by who the girl is.
Pushing rope up a hill.
That's
But
what
like-
I don't know why I got
some
to
of the
there.
guys-
Putting that in the bank.
Acme
I gotta use
Coyote,
that.
and I'm like, oh, I'm pushing rope up a hill.
But according to your Wikipedia, like a guy like Rob Kardashian, they said that you dated him, right?
So this
Was
was
he an Olympian?
no, not an Olympian. This was just an interesting situation.
Like a
I was
special Olympian?
nah. Yeah, that was when Rob was so cute too.
Now he's a plus size Olympian.
yeah.
Now he's working at the snack stand
Yes, at the
back
at the
of
pool.
the stadium.
At the pool, better at the local
Wetzel's Pretzels.
pool
Yeah.
with the dip and strip things. Remember those?
Yep. Taking pictures of you.
Yeah, that
Tanning.
and
So
he
you-
just
you-
challenged me to be in a fantasy football league. And I was like, okay, great. I'm going to invite you in a league. We're going to play fantasy football because you're like hitting me up by DM, like talking smack about fantasy football. Like, oh, I'll help you set your teams. Like, dude, I do this for a living, you know? Then like the day before the draft, he goes like radio silent. I don't hear from him for a month. Then a month later, it's like, oh, some things came up. I was like, you know what? We're done. You inconvenienced me. I had a studio ready for us to do this
Right.
draft live on air. Then I had to rearrange all these things. Like, stop fucking being like that. Like, I'm done. No more
Now,
patience.
when did the football thing kick in for you? Were you always a football fan growing up?
I
or-
was
yeah.
raised a sports kid. My mom was a basketball mom for Lafayette College in Pennsylvania, where she cooked for the home and away teams. So every time there was a game, she'd cook. The away team would get a fresh cooked meal before they'd get on the bus. And this was a thing that a lot of moms did
Is your mom a
in
good
the
cook?
area. Great cook.
She's
And
Italian.
so we got to go to every
Oh, you-
single basketball game. I'm Italian.
You're Italian. Oh.
And then my dad was truly into football, but hated broadcasters, which makes it so awesome that this is what I do. And this is daddy issues right here. My dad hates sports broadcasters. So when we watched football games on Sundays, and I only saw my dad on Sundays, 11 to 5, that was my whole life. That was it, once a week. That's how custody was
Okay,
in the
yeah,
70s.
yeah.
They didn't trust the father with the children overnight, nor did he want the responsibility, but we had to watch football. So he would keep the sound down, but would play Italian music. So as a young girl trying to learn the game, I had to wait till commercials to like ask my brother, like, what just happened there?
Right,
What kind of penalty was that? What was it? I got really good at understanding football by 10 because I had to know what the ref was throwing up there because we had no sound. Because
That's
even the
so
Super Bowl, my
funny.
dad would host the Super Bowl party at our house. We couldn't even listen. It was Italian music. So I
That's
grew up
funny,
with that.
watching football and listening to Jealousy.
Oh my gosh. And so in 2013, this opportunity presented itself with Fantasy Sports Radio on Sirius XM, and I jumped on it. And my best friend said to me when I got this opportunity, she said, you have two choices. You can be the flash in the pan for a season like they expected you to be, or you can work so hard they can't fire you. And I just had my 6th anniversary of my show, 6 years now.
Congratulations. That's
And the
awesome.
applause. You hear the applause outside?
That's right.
That-
It's all for you, baby.
It's all for you.
Yes.
That's really.
Yes.
I mean, you're really dead. One thing that I admired you too is you're really good at time management.
Mm-hmm. You
And
have
that
to be.
you're really strategic on where you allocate your time. Like
Yep.
there's certain times where texting you're like, I have to go, I have to,
Yep.
I'm watching the draft.
Yep.
So were you always, I mean, and one thing too, I remember you told me one time at New York, we had dinner in Rockefeller Center, and you were telling me that you trained your body to only get 5 hours of sleep.
Yeah, and I'm past that
How do you
now.
do
I
that?
can't do that anymore. I was
Same.
when I was younger, I could. So till
I
about
used you as a reference for that.
till about 2013, when I was traveling on the road and I was living this really intense lifestyle, I only let myself sleep 5 hours at
Wow.
night, and then I would do an hour nap during the day or 45-minute nap.
Okay.
Now I will
I'm
tell
a
you
big
this.
fan of the nap.
I'm a big fan of the nap, and I'm a big fan of you because you like to go to bed at 9 o'clock like I do. I heard that on an episode, and I was like, we're going to be
I
such
do.
buddy. I love
do.
going to bed
I love
early
going to bed.
now.
I just aim for it. It's just like,
It's a goal.
8 o'clock, I start to like get all excited.
And you wake up ready. No,
Yeah.
I'm up by 5 every day.
Wait, you don't go to bed at 9 o'clock at night?
Yeah, I do.
And what about the kids?
They're already out,
No,
right?
yeah.
You
And
got-
especially when school's in. That I'm so happy school's back because they're exhausted.
You get your routine with them when school's
Yeah,
ba're
yeah.
tired an hour
But
earlier.
they're-
who puts
they're old enough.
Who puts Bo to sleep?
I usually put Bo to bed.
How old's Bo?
He's 2 years, 4 months. He just started school too, and oh my god,
I love his little hair.
So
oh
fun.
my god,
It's such a funny.
He's so cool, and just totally transitioned. Like, see you later, guys. Like, didn't. He
So
cried. He
cute.
cried a little bit today, but like in the beginning, no, he's the bomb. He's such a cool.
Yeah,
little
9
guy.
o'clock is a sweet spot for bedtime.
Wow.
But when the kids are not in school, I'll go to bed at 9 and they'll watch their movies and they'll do their video games and stuff like that, and they'll stay up till 10 or 11, and I'm out. They're old enough to,
Yeah.
you know, because they're well, Finn just turned 7, so they're 7, 11, and 12, and then Bo's 2. So once you put him to bed at 8:30, then I'm like, see you later.
If you're not performing, what time do you go to bed?
Like 1.
Do you write at night? Is that the time where you like to write?
It's just hard. I mean, like I just worked on a ship and I had like 4 shows. A show at 7, 8, 11.
He's a whirling dervish.
And midnight. So like at midnight, you know, I get off stage at 12:30. I'm still up. I'm amped.
Yeah, you had
You know,
drinks, coffee
like,
or Red Bull.
I had 2 Red Bulls, 2 or 3, you know, Adderall earlier in the day. So like I'm just now 1 comes. I'm like, all right, put on TV. Try to put on Fox News. I'll put you to bed quick, you know. And then 1:30, then 2. I'm just like, all right, put on Jessica Jones season 3. Maybe it just. And then I start beating myself up around 2. Like it's hard.
Beating yourself up for what?
Why can't I sleep? My whole
Well,
day
gotcha.
tomorrow is gonna be fucked.
Right.
Like
And that gets
Do
your
you-
adrenaline going and your blood pressure going, so you wake up even more.
it's the worst.
You're
That was
not using any sleep aids like Ambien or
Oh,
melatonin?
no, Ambien was brutal. I was sleepwalking
Were ya?
and eating everything in my house.
Oh my God,
What
so
about
nice.
masturbating?
Oh, I'll definitely try that.
See, that's
you
my
know,
nap
but-
trick too. If I
Me
can't fall
too.
asleep, that's always works for me every single time.
Yeah,
I'll jerk off to a good episode of the Nice British Bake Show.
but I was in Canada.
He just drops that nugget.
A bake show?
Yeah, that's what I
A
like.
British bake
If
show.
they make a nice scone
you
everywhere,
don't
I need
jerk
a
off.
mop.
a nice Danish.
Yes. Yep.
Wow, that's
We've
awesome.
learned so much about you today, Nikki. You jerk off to a bake show.
Nikki Cannoli.
But it's also it's hard when you're doing live shows because when I get off of air at 10 p.m. here, that's the one night where I have a hard time going to sleep. But the problem is I'm doing so many morning shows right now on the East Coast. Like I'm helping the Barstool Breakfast Show with their fantasy football league. So I'm their team scout. So I've got to be up at 4:30 in the morning to be live on air with them at 5:15. So you got to get up at 3
Yeah.
to do these kinds of things. When I do that stuff, I got to factor in nap time and
Yeah.
extra early.
Tori
hours.
How much
Tori
money
just
have
did
you
that
won?
This morning.
Doing fantasy football.
I've won a bunch. I don't do a lot of high money leagues, and if I do, they're charity leagues. So the big buy-in leagues that I'm in that are $500 or more, they're charity leagues, and the winner picks their charity of choice. I don't want to turn it into a money thing for me because I think that changes the love of it.
Can't your charity be you?
Charity can be me, but I know I can make money doing other things, and
Yeah,
I
of
think
course.
it's just it's so much fun to be in a ton of free leagues, and then it's great motivation to work for your charity in those other
Yeah,
leagues.
that's cool.
Oh, speaking
Money
of charity,
changes it. People get nasty.
Speaking of charity, I follow you on Instagram, and I see you're playing a lot of golf these days.
I am.
Now, how's your game?
Game is not good.
Not good.
I'm saving this to 50. So I'm 47 now. My goal is at 50. I will start aggressively taking lessons. By then, I'll be like traveling to more courses. But what I do is over the summer, I volunteer to host charity golf events.
Okay.
And they sell more tickets by me being there. I ride around a golf course and just go hole to hole and take photos with all the groups of guys. I have a great time doing it.
I saw a
And
picture
it's
of you.
super
And
fun.
there's girls in bikinis playing Twister.
So
in the
I've gotten
background.
strip clubs involved as well for these different cities. And what they do is I have them like, you got to bring Twister.
Got it.
And then the guys can come over and tip you guys and they'll spin the board. So then there's like different events at each hole. And it's becoming so fun that I'm
That's
getting great
awesome.
at curating this. Like strippers make everything better.
They do.
They do.
They do. I'm a big fan of strippers.
Yeah.
In Toronto, we were talking earlier about the Brass Rail in Toronto, and that was one of my hangouts. I lived around the corner.
You must have been there all the time.
Oh my God, yeah.
You should do it
I
Totally
dated
regular.
so many
You
girls.
should
Oh,
do it
that's
at a funeral. You know, have like a twister.
Twister funeral.
Yeah, so many people are there.
I'm not opposed at my funeral of something like that going down. I'm not opposed at all.
I would do that. I would do a twister.
You
at my
right?
funeral.
At your
Yeah.
funeral? I don't mind. Really even, well, Tori might get upset.
But it would be great to pick people that you know don't get along with each other and put it in like your last words that like
yeah.
you guys have to play
You have
Twister
to play
together.
Twister
You know what I mean?
together. I like that.
Well,
I
I
just
had
love that
to-
you said there's a celebration at a hole. That's where you lost me. It was just sorry.
Well, I had the
I'm only
craziest-
human.
I was in Canada. I had the craziest story. So my wife doesn't know her dad. She like met him once.
Oh, this is insane.
Met him once. She like didn't know him before. I guess something happened before she was born. Mom took her away. And I'm in Edmonton 2 weeks ago, and my wife's like, "Hey, my dad wants to come to your comedy show." But we know the little brother, like the half brother. He's like stays with us sometimes. He's a really nice kid. All right, no problem. I like forget he's gonna be there. I just forget. So I'm on stage and I'm making fun of these like old people. I'm like, oh, you know, they can't hear me. I'll do a joke for you, like B34. I'm calling them like farmers only. This is the whole thing, right? And then at the end of the show, I'm like, so how do you guys know each other? And they're like, we're your wife's parents. I was like,
That must have been so great for the audience.
they were dying laughing.
Yes.
But I was like, oh my God, you really are my wife's. It was my wife's dad and my wife's aunt. And I'm like, oh, everyone was clap. I'm like, I never met them. People were clapping. And I'm like, don't clap. He never met. He didn't meet him either. Like I didn't want them to get the respect because he's
Sure.
kind of he didn't like. He was like kind of a deadbeat
He's
dad.
deadbeat
You
dad,
didn't need
yeah.
the guilt. He needed the guilt.
So then I was like, wow, I feel really bad about this. But fuck it, he didn't get us a wedding gift, you know. So then at the end, I'm like selling merchandise, and like the aunt comes over and she's like, I'm really sorry about the wedding gift, and like hands me like $1,000 Canadian.
No.
Yeah, which was nice. But I told her, I'm like, I just guilted her into, you know, giving us a wedding gift. But it was just, it was a little strange. Then he was like, hey, he came up to me and I'm like. He's like, thank you for taking care of my son Jeremy. You know, not even like my daughter, which was kind of like, you know, but
He sucks.
yeah, you know. But then he was like, it must be hard being a comic, and I wanted to be like, well, not as hard as not seeing your kid. You know, but
Yeah, it's not as hard as being a deadbeat fucking dad.
yeah,
Yeah.
When she gave you the 1,000, was it all in hundreds? Were they brown?
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
the exchange on
No,
that?
I think it was 20s.
Pretty.
in
It's
20s,
almost par right now.
No,
Actually,
no,
it's
no,
53
it's
cents.
terrible.
It's-
It's like 64 cents to the
64
dollar.
cents.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
great. But because the hundreds smell like maple syrup.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Really?
Yeah,
Like scratch and sniff stickers.
The government denies it, but there's no denying it. You grab a 100, which we call a brownie, because they're brown, and you smell them. It smells like maple syrup.
I don't want to smell a brownie. That sounds like dirty something, right? Yeah. We're on the same page with that. But I
see,
get it.
No, see, I'm
So that was
I'm a
the
dirty
early show,
bird. I
right?
like
And
to
then I'm like
smell
showing him
brown.
like he's like, can I see my granddaughter? I never saw her before. I'm like showing him picture videos. It was awkward, you know.
That's really weird.
So then that was
Do they live in Canada? Like,
they live in Canada.
Okay.
They live in Edmonton. But so then that was the early show. The next show, there's a guy like looking up the whole time, and I'm like, I thought he was sleeping. I'm like, sir, are you sleeping? And then the girl next to him is like, no, he's blind. So people are laughing, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm like, well, miss, stop showing me your tits." You know, like I'm like going with it. I was like, "Well, you have some hairy," but like, so then he was like he was nice, a nice
Was he
guy.
cool with it?
But
Okay.
totally, he was laughing. I could tell. When someone's laughing, I'm like, guys, you know, we should everyone leave and see how long it takes for him to get out of here. So then
That's hilarious.
So then at the end, I'm by the merch table, and he comes over. And this girl's like, oh, you know, that was the funniest show, and because I was saying they were like just friends. I'm like, she should give him a handy and say it's from her friend or something. You know,
Which we could do to a blind person, actually. Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So then the guy goes, hey, watch this. Takes out his eyeballs. and
What?
Puts them on the table.
On your merch table.
Yeah, on my merch table. I have it on video.
I gotta see that.
I posted on.
I gotta see
I
that.
posted on my on my Instagram.
So do his lids come down, or can you see
Yeah, do
inside
they
the eye
stay open?
sockets?
I'll show you the
So many
video.
questions, right?
I
Do-
know,
like,
I
what's
know.
back there?
Yeah.
None of
What's
us-
in there? Because you've heard that joke, you know, the old lady, I'll keep an eye out for you.
No,
Is that
we
when she
haven't.
gets the semen in her eye?
Yeah, the guy he couldn't afford to.
By the way,
he
use
could-
milk if you get semen in your eye, baby.
Really?
Yeah,
It's never happened, but
the lactic acid in milk is the best thing to use in eye wash because it does really burn. And the reason it burns, in my belief, is because those sperm think
Just
your
trying to
eyeballs
get
are an
in
egg
and
and they
there.
are trying to
I'm showing
impenetrate.
everyone the video right now.
Okay,
by
we're
the way.
watching this video. This guy's gonna take his eyeballs out.
So this
is
guy,
just
who's a nice
awesome.
guy.
Oh my God, no.
Oh my god. Oh, those were his eyeballs.
I can't see that far. I gotta see
I'll
it.
tell you what, if I could do that though, I'd do it all the time, wouldn't you? But it's got to be a bacteria thing. You probably wouldn't want to touch them all the time and put them back in there.
Can I just say something on a side note? You're like Nurse Jackie. First of all, I
wanted to
know
give
that
you the come in the eye
have so
thing.
much medical
Well,
knowledge.
you know, this is
that-
important stuff. Lactic acid in the milk does you take an eye wash.
Have you played a nurse?
On video many times. I've played a nurse.
What's
but
your favorite character to play?
I think my favorite scene was, well, of course, playing Palin was awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, like, when Palin came on the scene, did you look at her and go, I've got to do her? Or did somebody suggest, hey, I got an idea. You look like Palin. Let's do a...
Nina Hartley was the first person.
I love Nina
and she
Hartley.
is a lovely human being.
Oh, my God.
She is one of those women I've really enjoyed in the industry and been glad to know her. I've met her my first time when I was 18 dancing at a club
Oh
in
my
Pennsylvania,
God.
and she came in as a feature.
She was so hot. She's still hot.
Still smoking hot. And she's
huge-
also a very uber sexual woman. I don't know if I've met somebody as connected with themselves sexually as she
well,
is.
She came out with all these videos of
Yep.
the sort
How-to.
of how-to,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Couples.
damn.
So
Please
she
say that Dean, she has a big fan of Dean McDermott.
I will.
Love Nina
She was.
Hartley.
I was an agent at the time, and she was my client. And she called me and she said, "Lisa, you have to do this Sarah Palin thing." And at the time, I didn't ever play a role of someone else. And I'm like, oh, I really don't want to offend anybody. Let me look at her. And then, like 3 days later, Hustler called me and said, "Hey, it was the night of the VP debate." And Hustler called and said, "Hey, we want to do this Sarah Palin thing. We have to use you. It's perfect. You got no tattoos. You had the bangs at the time. You look like her." So I said, "I'll watch the VP debate and I'll see if I feel what I feel about it." Man, that night she came out there. She had on a black, shiny satin suit for that first VP debate. She had 2 pair of lashes on. I'm like at my TV, like, oh, this chick has 2 pair of lashes on. Like, I think she wants to I think she wants to be about this life. Like, I don't think I should feel guilty. The way her mannerisms, the lipstick. So I reached out that night. I said, we're in. I love the name. They said, we already have Who's Nailin' Palin. And I was like, oh, I see big thanks for this. So we did it and
That's awesome.
did not know it would be as huge as it was.
Did she ever reach out to you, or
She didn't, but this year I went to Alaska and I stopped in Wasala and I did this little video right by the sign where she lives that says, "Welcome to Wasala." That was so exciting.
Could you see Russia?
I could see Russia from my backyard. Yeah, you know I could. You betcha.
you know what's crazy is that you probably have a more stable life than she does. Like
Well,
she just got
getting
divorced.
divorced.
I cannot believe
Her kids are in
Todd
jail.
is finally giving up. How could you break up this family? I mean, it's so dysfunctional as is. I thought it was working. I'm blown away. And since that was announced, of course, everyone's like hitting me up going, we need to do another series because she's single. I'm like, we did 6 of those.
Wow.
6.
Yeah, I think there's room for some more.
Do you and Tori ever make a video?
Yes. And you know this. Okay, here's the thing too. We got to stop talking about. We got to stop talking about
wasn't
our
me. I didn't
life.
say anything.
I know. It's just every.
I understand.
Every episode they write something that I say about
Of course. So what's the video about?
the video.
It's them baking scones
Yeah,
and while
we're
watching
making-
a British television
We're
show.
we're watching Downton Abbey and we're making Danish for Nikki.
Scones, Yeah.
I told you guys when we interviewed Tori here, I said, if you guys ever make a sex tape, I want to project it up on a screen so I can take
You're
some
not worried
notes
about
for
this
the
getting
passion.
out, the sex tape? And you guys have so many nannies and people in your house.
I had a friend try to steal it off my computer and sell it to Hustler, and Larry Flint kicked him out of the office.
Because Larry's a good man.
Yeah,
because he already had
Truly a
one.
good man. No, because he would never take. He's not Steve Hirsch from Vivid, who would offer everybody money for a sex
What
tape.
kind of friend did that? Was it Steve Sanders?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Gonna
We're not
say.
talking. All right, well, so glad of that.
But you know, I must be I'm the only person in this room that doesn't like
Was
fear the
Shannon
cloud
Barney?
or fear a hack.
No.
Because
Have you ever been hacked? I mean,
No,
you
but
was a
a
friend of
while
mine.
ago, I got one of those harassing emails where somebody's telling you that they've hacked into your phone. They want hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I wrote back to them going, you're barking up the wrong tree, buddy.
Yeah.
Because if it hasn't been seen out there, who cares about the shit in my phone? Okay.
Let me introduce you to something called Google.
Yeah, like, come on, buddy. I'm the wrong target for this. But I had to go at it. And then I was able to put it on social media, which was hella fun.
Wow.
I've been getting these phone calls saying that this is the Social Security
Yeah.
office.
So sad
And,
because old people are falling for that.
And you have to call right away because there's a warrant out for your arrest.
Yep.
And I'm like, so I call a number, and it's so funny because it's not even close.
They will never call you. They'll only write to you in the mail. Same with the IRS. They'll never call you.
I get this person on the phone, and he's like, "Yeah, you have to verify your last 4 digits of your security code, and we need a credit card."
Oh my God.
You hear me? I'm like, what? What's your name and what's your
Employee
badge
ID number.
employee
Right.
ID
Of course. Of course.
you need to pay this, like, dude, you're not even doing this well.
Yes.
That was me and Adam. That's how I'm
But-
going to Hawaii
Yeah.
They
in December.
keep fucking calling. I said, look, dude, stop calling me or
Just
I'm
block
gonna
their
have you
number.
arrested.
Just block the number.
Now, before I researched you in your Wikipedia, not
And
like
thank you
no
for
problem.
doing
no
the wiki
problem. I
research.
was like, actually, like
I did all the
no.
other research, the video research.
Everyone
so if you have any
everyone always
questions-
says that the word on the street was that you only date black guys.
That's not true. I was married to a white guy.
But
Mighty White Mike, my
Where did
friends
that
call
come
him.
from?
Well, because I was the first girl in the industry to really fight for equality, and I was the first girl to not allow anybody to tell me that shooting scenes with somebody of a different race or ethnicity was going to hurt my career. So that got me really labeled.
Was that a thing?
It was a thing.
Really?
When I got in the business, my first contract, which I didn't understand the lingo at such a young age, I signed my first contract at 20. And I didn't understand that I couldn't work in an interracial scene. And they said, well, you're a contract girl and this will ruin your career. And I'm like, wow, it blew my mind that I was getting into a world that I thought was so open-minded. And it really wasn't that open-minded.
Wow,
It was
I had no
open-minded
idea.
what the pencil pushers in the office thought. They also tried to make me go blonde. So it was so small-minded back then. They're like, we've never had a contract girl that was brunette. And I'm like, well,
God.
it was a first time for everything. I'm not dyeing my hair and ruining my hair for the rest of my life. But so I fought really hard for that. And then that kind of followed me in the sense. And, it's not that I prefer, I'm an equal opportunist completely. But, when you're looking at some of these young hot athletes, it just so happens that some of them are, black and they're beautiful. And I do really enjoy them. But I wouldn't say that I have one preference over another. It's just a whole makeup. Who
I
doesn't
get
want a
nervous.
6'4" wide receiver who could just sprawl out to be like 7'4" and catch that catch? Like, who wants
Jeez,
that?
I want a wide receiver now.
Yes, right? I want big slot.
I get nervous about you with the football players. I
I
don't
was
want
on
anyone
JV
hitting you.
football in seventh grade.
Well, the thing is, I'm pretty careful about screening, right? I don't deal with the crazies. And the reason I date so many athletes is because I feel like they have just as much to lose as I do. And I feel like they're going to be less likely to stalk me, get obsessive with me. Whereas a civilian gets very obsessive and then I get very
you
fearful.
ever date that guy from the Patriots? What's his name? The guy who just got kicked off. What was his
A-
name?
AB, poor Antonio Brown.
Antonio
I
Brown.
mean, see now what he's happening. We've all seen this as a celebrity now. Every day I wake up and I say, "Is today the day that the blood that just people are going to pile on? One person's going to tell a story, and then like 20 other people are going to
Right,
pile on.
right.
And even though some of it might not be true, most people don't do the follow up work, and that shit is the
Did you hear
word
the new
rape
one?
next to he farted in a doctor's
He
face
farted in a doctor's face. He's being. First of all, why is a doctor's face by his ass?
because he was doing a body fat check. So he was running the scan on his body, going up and down for the body fat check. And Antonio Brown had a bunch of friends in the room with him, and he
But is
kept
that even
farting
like-
and
is
laughing.
that
I
even like
watched
a-
the video. I had to.
Really?
There's a
video?
video.
Now, is it? But is that
There's a
like?
video.
Is that first of all? I have so many questions about this.
I
Story.
did too.
Like,
Please.
First, it's not illegal to fart in someone's face.
It's disrespectful.
But it is. But it's more. But it's. I feel like
and
they're
it border.
kind of.
It's funny.
But I feel like they're taking away from the actual lady who said that he's been raped. And they're like,
But this doctor has not been paid the $11,000 that Antonio Brown ran up on his bill
But
for
why-
going in and getting his.
Why does he have insurance on that?
Well, the NFL insurance only handles what the NFL provides for them. This was something that he was doing completely on his own. Like if he were to go to cryotherapy and sign up for a membership, he has to
right.
pay the $300 a month. You know what I mean?
$11,000 to check your body fat.
He was going back for some sort of repeated something with
Okay.
this guy, and he ran up this bill and then didn't like the guy anymore. And
But-
didn't
Was
pay.
the thing he kept going back for? Was it nutrition? Maybe it was giving him gas.
But like,
What was
but
he,
also
what was he
like,
going
if I'm
back
a
for?
doctor and somebody has a phone out and I gotta put my face next to a guy's ass, I probably should not.
You probably shouldn't go
You know,
there.
hey man, maybe this isn't the guy that I want to do. Like, didn't the doctor like, hey, why does this guy have a phone?
So-
and why is my face by this guy's ass?
Let's rewind and go back to the girl. This is a very interesting story because this girl had a pending deal with Antonio Brown for $2 million straight up. He got
A
denied.
pending deal.
Yep.
What's the deal?
The deal was $2 million for her to keep her story quiet about what had taken place between the two of them for 2 years.
Okay.
She was his like trainer, right?
She was his trainer, but there's a strange amount of events. And one of
Yeah.
the events that I thought was very strange. Now, women have to be smarter and know that if somebody does something wrong and offensive, that you don't have to be that person's friend anymore. Like this girl's saying these offenses happened over 2 years. You have to take some responsibility that you continued to put yourself in a bad situation. But the one that really caught me was the time that he was masturbating behind her and she didn't know it and he came on her back.
What?
Like so I texted all my friends. I'm like, listen, you do know that if you come on my back, like we're not friends anymore, right? Like, I just want to know, should we be having this conversation? I mean, I'm big on communication. Like,
are we still good?
it's a new boundary. You know what I mean?
Don't talk to me.
Nikki's
So,
mad at me.
This girl, she's telling this story. Now, this story wasn't going to come out. He was with the Raiders. He lost his guaranteed money. He gets a new deal with the Patriots. There's guaranteed money. Somebody's getting ready to drop this story from the Raiders to sabotage his deal with the Browns. Guess what? This story dropped 48 hours before this girl's getting married.
Oh, wow.
She got married last weekend. That's why she couldn't meet with the NFL till Monday.
So she collected that paycheck, you think? Or...
She didn't collect the paycheck from him because now she went public with the civil story. So now it actually has to go to court. So now this is probably going to cost her more than she would have ever gotten.
The other girl was like, I mean, look, once again, these are all allegations.
Right.
This is, yada yada. But the girl was a painter.
This girl in Pittsburgh. Yes,
And
this is a great
working
story.
on, like-
Working on a portrait,
great
right?
story.
Working on a mural.
Wait, can we just say that he initially hired her because she painted a mural of him that he wanted to buy, this big painting, and he loves himself so much that he had her come to his house to paint a mural of himself on the fucking wall. If I were her, I wouldn't have showed up just for that reason. Like, yeah, you're a narcissist, a psychopath, and yes.
Then-
So
then- then-
continue.
I know, then he's, like, behind
for
her.
me, I'm not a painter,
Then-
but a red flag goes up if like
100%
hey, come over to my house and
alone.
paint
And then he
a
and then he
portrait of
comes
me.
downstairs.
Like something's gonna
Then he
happen.
comes downstairs with just a towel over his dick.
While she's painting, and he comes up right behind her. Now, she said that she had been through these situations with men before, so she just continued doing her work. But
She was halfway done. She said.
but when she didn't pay into it, then the work stopped and he didn't pay her. But this woman
There's
kept
just
her
a sketch
story
on his wall.
like an outline, like a police chalk.
Why didn't you just sketch him jerking off? Like she's already.
Is it? Yeah, you want your mural? Here's your mural.
I mean, there's all kinds of. I mean, but now, don't you think that like farting in the doctor's face is actually taking away from the real people that are?
She came out at a bad time because we are already burned out of Antonio Brown news. 2 months ago, he burned his feet with third-degree burns in a cryo chamber in Paris and didn't tell anybody till it was time to go to camp, and the Hard Knocks were there, and his feet are completely raw and damaged.
He didn't wear slippers.
He didn't wear the
cryo.
And then he
didn't
calls
wear the
someone
Crocs.
That happened to a friend of mine.
It happened to a friend of mine, and his feet melted right to the bottom of the actual chamber, and the socks ripped right off of his skin.
Yeah,
Now, why
have
don't
to-
you
you have
you
to
know
wear the
so much
shoes.
about this stuff? Why aren't you a reporter?
Well, I kind of am. You know, I
But,
do
like-
cryo 5 days a week. So as soon as the
I love
Antonio
cryo,
Brown thing,
don't you?
I
I
love
love
it.
it,
You
love
go
it,
to
love it,
Cryo
love it.
Healthcare on La Cienega.
No, Venture Boulevard in Woodland Hills.
Oh, I go to that one too. They're so nice in there. I
they're
can't
the
believe
same one, aren't they?
I can't believe they're owned by the same
Yeah,
people,
the
but
same
I
one,
like
yeah.
the people up at the one in Woodland
It's
Hills.
so nice.
I
It's-
can't believe we haven't seen each other there. Small world.
But don't you think if
Where
you
do
were like
live?
on the
Are
sidelines?
you on this side of the hill?
I'm on that side of the hill, so I go to
You're-
that Woodland Hills one because my PO box is in Encino,
Oh,
and then I
shit.
go to that. I sometimes go to that Woodland Hills Equinox because
Yeah,
I
that's
find
that's
it's not that busy during
that's
the
my
day.
Equinox I go to. I can't believe I haven't seen you there.
I can't believe this.
Okay, we have
Back to you.
I would think that if Barstool Sports hired you as a sideline reporter or something, that would be like ratings bonanza.
This
but
is a dream of mine.
but then don't you think maybe guys would be rude or something, or they would say stuff?
You know, it's been pretty good. And I got to say, the athletes that I know, whether we've interacted sexually or we've just friends, because they know I'm such a sports lover and I meet people through people, they've been more supportive about me making this transition than anybody. And what's been crazy is the
'Cause they're fans, too.
conversations. They're happier with me not doing scenes. And many of them had to talk with me when I went back, like, are you okay? Are you sure this is what? And I said, wow, I didn't expect this from you guys. But
you would be a great announcer.
But I also
That's
don't
the
feel like
goal.
that's-
even
but I
on
also
an
feel
Entertainment
like-
Tonight or.
But I also feel like with
I've
the
known
way
this.
the way that porn is now, like you don't have to go. Oh, I can't wait to her new scene. I mean, you'd have to be a real porn connoisseur to
like
look
the
for,
guy that waits in line at the porno garage sale called Exotica for an hour. for a
I want to
photo.
talk a little bit about that because one thing that I want to say is that you've had a lot of. I mean, you know, I'm a worrier.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
big Lifetime movie watcher, and you're somebody I
Do
can't.
not watch those movies,
Okay,
man.
fine.
Yeah, Dean's in them.
Yeah, you don't.
Don't watch because they're going to make you paranoid. You worry about my stalkers.
I worry about your stalkers because
Yeah.
there's what a lot of people.
How many? Yeah, and I'm assuming that someone in the business would have a lot more stalkers.
She's
too.
had a lot of people do a lot of fucked up shit to her.
Yeah.
And she's very strong
And
very
it's
smart.
different because we don't make the type of long-term money that a regular actor or actress does, so we don't have as much money for security.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to live very diligent, and you have to be in a
What do you mean? What do you
situation.
mean fucked up things? What do people like?
There's people that
send
have
you-
cornered her in supermarkets.
Yeah, and there's people that have released my home address and information on the internet.
That's shitty.
There's a lot of bad things that have happened. I just had somebody break into my underground parking
No.
to give me flowers, and he broke the gate, which then I had to pay to replace, and it was just one of these things. And in a situation like
Why did you have
that,
to pay
like,
to replace that?
because it was my responsibility that it got broken. And, your neighbors are only so patient when your stalkers continuously break
That's
things.
crazy. Well, you mentioned
That's
that
ridiculous.
You mentioned that you don't make the same kind of money that mainstream actresses. That's always, I'm shocked at the money.
Right?
I'm shocked at how low it is.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you
I'm
all saw the
really
story with
shocked. And
Mia
then
Khalifa.
and then residuals
yeah.
and stuff like
No
don't
residuals.
exist. Like I can't believe it.
Unless you own your own product, which is something I did for my last 5 years in. So what's cool now is I can go through and kind of recycle all that old content. Like right now, what I'm doing is every day I have a whole day of updates going out on my OnlyFans. And it's allowing me to recycle scenes that I
Right.
think a lot of these people haven't seen yet. And it's totally fun. One day a week, it's usually Saturday nights when I'm listening to all the fantasy sports updates to set my lineups. I sit for 5 hours straight, smoke a little weed, and I go through all my favorite scenes and go, oh, I bet they've never seen this one of Sarah J. And I put it up and it's making me a nice little income.
Nice.
So I'm making my own
Awesome.
residuals.
Now, why is it like I go on like UJizz or you whatever? It's all like stepmom porn.
Yeah, they're
Like,
so into that right now.
I didn't have a good relationship with my stepmom.
Would you want to
like,
have sex with
no,
her? You want to beat her up?
Even if I did, and I didn't want to beat her up. Well, I mean, at one point in my life, but that was before military school. But why? It's like I have to like search for like non-relative porn.
I
now.
had this whole talk this year with every major company from Brazzers to Mile High to everybody saying, why are you guys letting the people in the office dictate what everybody gets to see? I just think we've gotten away from like one of my most popular scenes is ridiculous. I'm a lifeguard and I save a kid that's in a bathtub.
Yeah, we love that scene.
And it's campy and it's
We're
on
gonna
there.
I want to
Reenact
do a
it.
dramatic
Okay.
read before we go.
We have to, and it's campy and it's fun and the sex was good, but they've made it so complicated. And when I came back and did 6 scenes with Brazzers, believe me, I had to fight for my scripts, and they would change it last minute, and I would print it out and count the pages and know there were 3 more pages. So I had to print it out again and go through and see what they changed and fight with them and have them take it out. And I'll tell you one example. Last minute, my script changes. It's a boy, girl scene, this young couple, cute scene. College kids see me broken down on the side of the road, come to save me, take me to their house to get a shower, call the tow truck. We
That
have sex.
happens. That
Does
happens.
happen.
Yeah.
But in the
Canada.
scene, when they
That's how I met
switched
Dean.
it, they wanted to add in a little scenario where the girl, before they saw me, the girl was blowing her boyfriend while he was driving, and she's calling her father, and she says, Daddy, I can't make it home in time. I'm going to be late. And so instead of like doing anything first, I emailed every man that works in that office that has kids, and I said, I hope your daughter calls you every time she's sucking dick. And they took it out of the script.
Wow.
I feel
That's horrible.
it's horrible that I have to go there, but what I'm doing is, listen, what I do is already walking the fine line on some people's morality.
How do you get everyone's emails?
Oh, I have access.
She's like Nancy Drew.
Yeah, I will get access. So, we're all, they're putting us in situations that make us look down upon even more.
Mhm.
Like most of us do not want to disrespect someone's parents. It's
Yeah.
not about that.
There's another big thing too. It's stepfather.
Yeah.
Banging my stepfather. Like it's everywhere.
Is it because people are so desensitized who work in the porn industry
Yes,
that
it
this
is.
is what gets them off?
Yep.
So then they want to like.
And they're pushing the envelope and they're creating a stigma that now we're seeing more sexual crimes, more incestual crimes. We're seeing these things translate into real life. Real life.
People
And
think,
it's
oh, it's
not
okay because I saw it in a porno.
It's not necessary, and it's something that makes a lot of the older women not want to shoot for companies anymore. Like a lot of the MILFs are just shooting their own content on
Right.
OnlyFans because they have stepkids in real life.
Yeah.
And they don't want to play these roles on camera, so they just don't work.
Yeah. It's so weird. When I see that, I was like, no.
It's not a turn on.
Why do I want? I want that.
What
Why
happened
would
to
I
the
want
hot
a
car
stepfather?
wash?
Yeah.
Where the girls are out there in bikinis, the next thing you know, the bikinis pop off and a dude comes by. Like, that is great porn.
Yeah,
I loved the
agreed.
90s porno. I loved it so much, just like that scene.
Yeah, before we leave, we're going to do a dramatic read of the bathtub scene.
That was
But
my favorite
Adam
thing
has
to
to play
ever
Lisa.
yeah.
Oh,
Of course.
I play the
Obviously.
dunce in the bathtub because he didn't get the scenario the whole time, and you can really tell on camera that he didn't get the scenario.
First of all, and what about, could he clean up the clothes in the background? Did you see that there was all, did you notice that? I was like,
No,
where was the
only-
cleaning
I
lady?
think
So
only
every-
you noticed that. Dude.
Yeah, of
Every
course.
time I get a dick pic, I write back, and I write back about the cleaning their room. Like, it's usually like there's laundry everywhere, or they're standing over the toilet, or I just write back, I've seen better, thanks.
Wow.
Ooh. Do you get the dirty mirror?
The dirty
needs the
mirror
Windex?
is the worst
Yeah.
when women do it, though. It's worse when women do it. Like a chick's taking a selfie and you see like toothbrush stains on the mirror. I'm like, oh my God.
You would expect that from a guy.
Yes.
But sending a dick pic over the toilet, though, that's like, come on, pick a
Yeah,
better
it happens a
background.
lot.
Come on.
I
How
got
many like celebrities like do you know their wives if they're married and still like trying to pick you up, or athletes? Probably a
People
lot.
pretty much know my tone on that. I don't mess with anybody that's married or in a relationship, so they kind of stay back. But, I do save celebrity dick pics in a folder, and I hope that when I pass away, my lawyer can release this to the world and we can have a lot of fun with it.
If you ever get Justin Bieber's dick, I've seen it. It's online now, but I love him.
I know, I love him too. I would want to save that for both of us.
Yes.
Wait,
Okay.
why have you seen his dick?
He went.
There were pictures in.
Yeah, he went completely naked. I don't know.
Those,
He was going
those
through.
huts that are out on the water.
Yeah.
I love that you know that. Thank
No,
you.
I saw them.
Fiji.
I
It was
saw
like
them.
in Fiji or something, right?
Yes,
Yes. What do you think about?
He's a fellow Canadian. I gotta check
are
out.
you
I gotta-
upset with the Bieber being like, he's just not looking like Bieber. Like he's
Well,
not
he was
trying to be sexy.
doing meth allegedly, and that's the rumor why he
I don't
has the
want
bad
that.
skin and he's blotchy. So I think that me and you together as Nurse Jackie should team up. And
We
head
do
over there.
need
little
to.
Nikki and Lisa intervention.
Yeah.
We need the
we're tag
beats
teaming.
back
Well,
in
Aaron
action.
Carter got a restraining order against.
I just sent that story to my friend last night. Yeah.
They got a restraining
Nick
order.
Carter got a restraining order against Aaron Carter
Why?
because
Yeah.
he said he was threatened to kill his wife and unborn baby. And
God.
yeah, it's like
What
crazy.
pushed him so far off the deep end?
I just remember the little kid, like my cousin's like, I like candy. That was like the song he did.
Yeah.
This cute little kid. And then you're just like, ugh.
Oh, by the way, we
Man.
have something here for you.
Oh yeah, we do.
Oh my God, it's a flashlight. I thought. I was like, what did you bring a flashlight in for?
Well, just in case there was an earthquake, I like to be prepared. But also, this is a mold, exact mold of my vagina. It's very accurate, very very accurate.
That's your butt.
Oh yeah, you're right. This is my butt vagina. They gave me this
You
one
should have
too.
showed it to me first because I wouldn't have known the difference.
I was gonna say.
So blind. Yeah, this would be my butt, right?
Wow.
That's your
Yeah.
butt.
They used to make the mouth too, but it was uber creepy, so they stopped making it.
So
First of all,
It was
I
just
saw-
lips hanging out of one of those.
there's a little vajayjay.
Great
right
for
there.
holding joints at a house
The
party.
mouth is
That's
creepy,
what
but your
I have.
butt- but
One
your butt
mouth.
isn't creepy?
Not creepy.
There's a
Because your
little- there's
face
a
is
little-
cut off, and it's just your mouth, which really.
Is that where
There's
the
a little
vagina
vajayjay
starts?
right
yeah,
there.
yeah. Yep.
Wow.
The ass does very well.
So like how?
So
like,
they
do you like
they
lay over a sofa and
they first of all they mold you kind of like you're getting a cast, right? They put that product on you that molds and hardens, and then they pull that off so they have the outlines. Then they have a guy that takes a very specific camera and gets kind of really far up inside you, more than your gyno ever has. And then he's the artist that carves it and makes sure that everything is accurate. They check in with you along the way. And I will say, out of the adult industry, Fleshlight is the absolute best company for all of us who have been able to be a part of it, because we get a residual check every month after just
Wow.
doing 2 days work, 1 day for a mold, 1 day for the photos. They are the only legitimate company that takes care of their girls forever. And quite a few retired girls are still living off that check, and it makes me happy to be a
Well,
part of it.
Let's give it up for
Give
flashlight.
it up for wow.
I'm a fan of the flashlight. I'm a flashlight owner, and now I'm.
Now
I
you
have
Really?
these
understand.
hands,
You're an owner?
but
Wait, you own one of those?
Yeah.
Who's anybody in particular?
Mine.
you know,
Stormy Daniels?
Stoya.
Oh, with Stoya the Destroyer.
Yeah, Stoya. I have Stoyas.
Quick
Stoya the
story.
Destroyer?
This was invented by the owner, Steve Shubin from Fleshlight. It was invented when his wife had a late pregnancy with twins, and the doctor told them they shouldn't be having sex because it was a risky pregnancy. And so he said, I'm never going to cheat on my wife, and I want to figure out how I can make a mold. And of course, the experimental process went along, and the kids were being bored. Now the kids work at the company, but that was initially how this started. And he wanted to start it not just for a sex toy, but for the disabled, for couples going through just what he went through, and he really started using them in hospitals and VA hospitals as,
Yeah,
as a
you know
as a
what?
tool.
People just. Yeah, I still think they have this negative connotation towards it. Hey, look, if this is gonna make someone happy, and they're not gonna take their weird sexual shit out on someone, that's why I'm a fan of like the dolls. Like, yeah, man, yeah, if you can afford one, go get one,
Yep.
and just like
Do you have a doll too?
suppressing your sexuality, I think, breeds weirdness.
Well,
Right.
look, we've got everything right now. We've got Epstein. We had, we have Antonio Brown doing weird shit. We're now learning that a lot of people have weird sex shit.
Yeah.
And they're obviously not using the tools provided to them to handle it. And then they feel it's appropriate to just push it on other people. But, men
Or
get
it
made
maybe
fun of for
even-
toys, but yet women have had 1,000 dildos to
Yeah.
choose from
Yeah.
for 50 years. I don't
Right.
understand this
But where-
whole flip.
Now, Dean, where do you wash yours?
in the
I throw
sink.
in the washing
Yeah, I
machine.
was gonna
with
say,
the
there's no-
kids' clothes. No, you wash it in the sink.
You wash it in the sink.
You wash it in
Comes
the
right
sink?
out.
Oh wow.
Comes right out and it easily washes.
You don't put it in like
And then you let
the dishwasher.
Do not put it in the
No.
dishwasher, man.
No.
It will not make it back
It
out.
won't. It'll look like a. It'll look like a tongue.
It might ruin your dishwasher. I'm not sure, but just
It
don't
looks like
do it.
Aquamom's vagina.
But I'm glad that you use it and you get it, because I talk to all my guy friends that are traveling, or like a lot of military guys take them out with them. They're out for 5-6 months.
They're
Do you have
great.
to like bring it like through security on the road?
I don't travel.
No, he's not.
I don't travel with my.
I've brought mine through security.
That's his emotional support fleshlight.
I just sit on the
I buckled
plane.
it in my passenger seat to bring her here today.
Oh, no. Wait, hold on. But like, do people ever like? Does it ever go off and like when you're going through security?
No, because it's all plastic. But I do like to put weird shit in my bag so the security guys have to look at it and touch it. Because there's nothing better than a woman picking up something she thinks is sexual. She's so freaked out. Like, oh my God. Yes, it's
puts on an
a
extra
double-edged dildo.
Extra pair. of
You've never
gloves.
seen one before? You should check it out. Call a friend.
I do that too.
After your Tupperware party, get these things out. It's
I
great.
do that at the car rental place because I'm always like 3 flights in, so tired, and someone that hurts is like, "So what are you in town for?" And I'm like it's any of their business, and I'm like, "I'm here for the gay porn convention." And then
I love that you do that.
I get no questions after that. They're like,
I love that you do that.
except one guy was like, "Where is it?" And I was like,
Damn,
I'm like,
the one guy.
I was like,
The Hilton.
It's downtown.
Room 19.
Yeah, fuck that. I hate when people ask, "What am I in town for?" You don't. Like,
Because you travel a lot, we find it intrusive, right? Because you're this is your mission, and you're doing 1 million trips in a year, and this is all. But they're
Yeah.
trying to be nice to the one person that
No, I
leaves
get
their
it.
house once a year, going to Disney like an asshole, and spending more money than they ever have
just
with
want
their
the car.
kids.
just give me the car. Like
I'm the same.
We're not friends.
I usually just have earbuds in and say, "Oh, I'm listening to a podcast right now. I can't be interrupted."
Oh really?
It works.
Wow.
Now, one thing that we didn't touch on is that you played Sarah Palin in Eminem's music video.
Yes.
How was that experience?
It was the greatest ever. And still to this day, rappers reach out to me all the time. They're like, "Hey, we really want you to be in our video." I'm like, "Sorry, but after you do an Eminem video,
Yeah.
you should be done with that for the rest of your life. I will never surpass it." It was a neat experience because it was the video for We Made You. And it had all the impersonators. It had Kim Kardashian, Amy Winehouse, Britney Spears. You remember I look at Britney Spears?
Yeah, of
and-
course, you know.
And so at one point we were all in the green room. And you know how they take your phone from you? There's no
Right.
way we can have photos. But if there was a moment I wanted a photo of,
Oh, yeah.
it was all of us freaks sitting there looking
That'd
like
be cool.
somebody else, having a normal conversation about who we really are. But everyone looked so good that it was just like, I really believe that I'm sitting in a fake room with all these fake people we all look just like. And it
How
was
was he-
so
was he
cool.
nice?
Super cool. He's great. He was really into the production as well. So they were shooting and editing as we went. The fear of a music video getting out before they want it out is so real that within 48 hours of wrap, it was already out.
Really?
So they had all these editing bays set up inside this huge studio and probably like 50 little editors there. And he knew what effects he wanted. He knew he wanted to put Kim Kardashian in the shredder, the tree shredder, and have money coming out the other side.
Oh, wow.
So as they're doing the scene and shooting it, then there's all these graphic guys working on ideas. And, Marshall would just walk around and check on the work, and he really knew what his vision was. And so it really
That's
impressed
cool.
me about him as a human. He was into it.
Wasn't Jenna Jameson in one of his videos?
She was, Jessie Jane was. He picks like a predominant porn girl every couple of years.
And you're a
Yeah.
part of that legacy.
Yes, this makes me so happy. I still play that song and smile. It was a great
Yeah, of
experience,
course.
Jesse, I used to work at night calls. I was the warm-up comic.
What?
Yeah, and I like
With Julie Strain?
with Jesse, Jane, and Kirsten Price. were the
Yes,
hosts.
okay.
And I was the warm-up comic. The only job I've ever actually showed up early to in my entire life. And like,
At that shitty studio out
well,
there.
Yeah, well, first I was the warm-up comic for
We don't
Jenna
shoot till tomorrow.
Jameson's,
Adam's already
What a
here.
funny story. So Jenna Jameson's American Sex Star. It was like the American Idol of porn, and she was the judge, or she was the host. And I go there, and they put me in this room, and next to me, I could hear all these porn stars talking about like, oh, this guy's balls are hairy, or just whatever.
Comparing notes.
And she's like, yeah, and this guy's dick was too small, whatever. So I was like, wow, I got to hear this. So I go into they're in the makeup room, and I'm like, I'm here to get my makeup done. They're like, but you're not on camera. I'm like, I know. So they're like, okay. Just sat me down. I'm like, I need to get touched up. I was like,
Brilliant.
I was like, but then on American Idol of porn was no, and then on the other one for Night Calls.
Night Calls. That was a great show for
Oh,
years,
it was
by the
so
way.
funny because it would be like, why it's okay to cheat on your wife. It was like the worst like morals of the show,
Right.
hosted by two like naked girls, and there'd be like 10 naked girls behind them, just like scissoring each other, and then they'd be like, one guy would come on and be like, oh, his dick was like half an inch, and then they would like try to put like a pump on it to get it bigger, and then Mandingo would show up. It was written by Tom Green's writing partner, this guy Derek Harvey, who was like hilarious, but it was like so ridiculous that it was like not sexy. It was sort of like funny.
Yeah, there was a girl, and I remember one episode I loved. Julie Strain was the judge that night, and she was suing her company. She was a phone operator, a sex phone operator, because she had carpal tunnel on both of her hands for masturbating when she was doing these calls. and they really looked at the science of it and how this could be. And I just remember that one really stuck in my mind because I thought, this is clever fucking writing.
It was really funny. And then I would do comedy on it sometimes. My friends were like, dude, I'm sitting there jerking off, and all of a sudden you show up.
You totally kill my
start
boner.
doing comedy.
Boner done.
But I remember Jessie. I had a crush on Jessie. I thought she was like the prettiest girl and like fun girl. And I was dating a girl who was a porn star, like for like a month or two. This girl, Kaylani, and then
I know Kaylani.
So
Nice girl.
So super sweet.
Yeah.
But like.
She was a wicked girl back then.
She was a wicked girl.
Yep.
And this is before I met my wife. So anyway,
Full disclosure, wife,
knew,
if you're listening.
But I knew, yeah.
Timestamp.
But it was weird because I knew that like a lot of times these girls, if they brought you into like their world, they would like share you, and sometimes like. It was kind of weird. So great if you're being shared. But Kaylani was super cool. She said to me, she goes, I don't care how many bitches you have. I just want to be your number one bitch. And I remember
That's
like
beautiful.
That's cool.
That's beautiful.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be your number one guy today.
Tomorrow we'll work that out later.
But then we got into one argument because there was I found one. I was at her house and I found like this like porno, and on the front cover it's just her naked, and I was like, oh, this is beautiful. And then on the back, she had like a dick in each hand or something. And I was like, yeah, not so much or something. And then she goes, don't judge me. I don't judge your comedy. I was like, well, I don't have two dicks on stage while I'm telling jokes. And then she fucking like threw
But we've
me.
all eaten dicks on stage.
Yeah,
is the comment.
You could.
Yeah, she like
Might-
threw me out of
might
her
change
house.
your crowd.
I was like, but she was cool. Actually, we're still friends. She lives in Vegas.
Yeah.
I want Lisa to do comedy.
Lisa'd be great.
Yeah.
You're a big comedy fan.
And
Huge
he
comedy
got
fan.
me into comedy. And if you're ever free Tuesday night at the Dime,
You have to want to
Oh.
do it. You don't think that you have.
I want her
She
to
has
do. I'm going to try and bully her
but
into
she
doing
has
it.
to
I
wanna
think
Well,
she'll
Yeah,
do
I
it.
used to do a little bit of an open when I did the show at the New York Comedy Club, Payer Pain, and I have been thinking of like bits, like when Antonio Brown's Accuser came out with the coming on the back. I'm like, if I was a comedian right now,
Yeah.
I would, because as a woman, I think you can talk more about these sexual situations, because as a man, you automatically get judged. You don't understand, and you're victim blaming. I want to victim blame, and I could have come up with so much.
well, that
for
was
that.
a funny joke. You said,
It was-
you come on my back. We're not friends
We're
anymore.
not friends anymore. Like, I would text him, like, one of my co-hosts, my radio show. I'm like, what made you never come on my back? And he's like, well, we're friends. And I'm like, that's a good answer.
All right. Well, before we leave, I have the dialogue
Okay.
of the lifeguard bathtub scene that I would like to do a dramatic reading with
Fantastic.
you of. Okay, so they're gonna in post put in the shark music and the whistle blowing. Lights, camera, action.
You should be Lisa.
I'll be Lisa.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I see you don't have a lifeguard here at your beach.
I'm not the beach. This is the bathtub.
No body of water is safe without a lifeguard.
It's 2 feet deep, lady. What are you doing here?
You can relax. You're safe now. Your lifeguard is here.
Okay.
Get out of the water. There's a shark.
A shark?
Get out of the water. There's a shark in the water.
There's no shark in the bathtub.
Aren't you glad you have a lifeguard here to save you?
Yes.
And scene.
Brilliant.
What I love about
Lovely.
it the whole time is that, you know it's a porno. The guy looks like he doesn't understand why I'm even in the bathroom, because some of the guys in the business are a little bit dense. And so
Really?
he didn't really gravitate towards it. And his fear look, like he was the perfect idiot to do that scene with me.
He looked it.
Because just, oh my gosh, like, do you not know what's going on? But that scene has gotten me a lot of traction. It's fun. I wish I could do every scene like that.
So what happens when a guy like comes too early in a porn?
Well, you discuss it with him. What are your chances of rebounding and coming again? You understand that you cost us all potentially a paycheck. Do you want to die here now or die here later, or figure out how to get your dick hard? Go watch some porn.
Holy
Y'all just
shit,
go outside, smoke
that's-
some cigarettes, and wait it out. Like you go in. You go in. Because here's the worst part.
That's
When that
pressure.
happens and he comes early, they look at it like this. You already did your photos and you got halfway through the scene. So even if he can't get it up again, you now need to fuck this kid again, because they're going to make you come back, wear the same outfit at the same location, and finish this scene with this guy. And there's nothing worse than showing up the second day to face the guy that failed with you the first day.
Right.
There's just not, it's like a bad date, but you're forcing the people to go back out with each other. So that's when you're like, please, let's just get this done today. Picture the drive when we have to sit in traffic again to see each other, and you never want to see me again after today.
Do you have a trick?
Wow.
Do you like whisper like dead puppies in their ear if you know they're coming?
I always got to know my guys. And I will say the one thing that's easier about doing interracial scenes is they're a lot more affectionate. So, with a lot of the brothers that I love to work with, it's easy to just kiss them or to just touch their neck or to be really erotic because they don't use PEDs. They're not big on Viagra. They're not big on injecting. So they're very connected. They'll touch more. They'll do that. But it's about getting to know what your guy likes. And normally I'll sit down beforehand for 10 minutes if it's a newer guy or somebody I don't work with a lot and just say, what are your do's and don'ts? What things don't you like? What things do you like? And a lot of it is intimacy. So with many of the guys, if you just take that moment and break the room and are able to kiss and touch and be alone, then they can get it back going again.
Wow. I couldn't imagine.
Knowing you're not getting a paycheck
I couldn't
is the
imagine
worst
not knowing
ever.
to go out, he's like, okay, you got to pull this, you got to get your shit together
Yeah.
and get this thing back up or no one's getting paid.
And then everyone's staring at you in the room like, we're not getting paychecks either. It's a stressful environment. It's
Oh my
much harder
God.
to be a male porn star than a female porn star, for sure. Coming on demand's not easy.
Yeah.
Well, there goes my next passion. Jesus.
So, Nikki, I might make you on Saturday, October 5th. Are you in town?
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to pick you up and make you go to Huntington Beach with me and do my walk. It's growing. I have
Yes,
about
of
35
course.
people walking
And
with
it's
me
for your
this year.
grandfather, right?
It's for my grandfather, my grandmother, and my two best friends' moms are both suffering from Alzheimer's
It's
dementia
here- it's
right now.
in Huntington
California.
Beach?
I do it every year. Yeah.
October 5th?
Yep.
I'm doing a triathlon on October 6th.
Oh no! Wait, where?
I can't.
Have you
I
ever
got
done one
confused.
before?
I
Is
did
Is that
the
because you
Ma-
lost your car?
I did this one. I did the Malibu triathlon this weekend.
How
I
difficult
got my
was
number
it?
on it still.
How difficult was it?
It was really tough. It was just a sprint one too. It's a smaller one. It was
but
really
you're still in
difficult.
the water.
You're in the water on the bike in a run.
What was the hardest?
He's getting away from his kids.
The swim. The swim was finding the time to do it. The swim was the hardest.
Were the kids all
'Cause
chasing
I'm
you
not
while
a
you're doing
swimmer.
it? Like, leave
I
me
would have
alone.
won. I would have won if I had them out on the course. It's like,
Do you swim
but I
first?
might be. Swim first, cycle second.
So
run
then you're
third.
wet when you cycle, right?
You dry off really quick.
Wow, that's intense. I've always been afraid. How about you? Marathon,
I
triathlon?
might
I used to run track.
I might be
for
in
the short
Newport
shorts.
Beach. There's
Okay.
there's a try in Irwindale and there's a try in Newport Beach, and I'm not sure which one it is.
Well, he'll keep
but
you posted.
Huntington Beach, I'll do the walk if I'm
Yeah.
there.
I'm in.
Yeah, it's always fun.
I'll be there.
It's good. It's
I'll
right
be
on the
there.
beach. You can't beat it.
I'll go anywhere with you. If you want to go to Ruby Tuesdays, you call me.
Ooh,
And I'll go to the salad bar
Who are we
with
gonna
you.
go to Applebee's with?
Yes. When or where? Tell me.
I'm down with Applebee's with
Yeah.
Lisa Ann.
Yeah. Who wouldn't
Yeah.
be?
We should have a contest on daddy issues. Win a dinner with Applebee's with Lisa Ann.
That's hilarious, and we should. And it should be somebody that has severe daddy issues, so we
Was-
can
wait,
compare
just-
notes.
It was just us three entering it.
Yeah, right.
Believe me, I can get some people to enter it.
I'm sure.
No, I'm saying we would want to do it. I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
Well,
we
you
want
guys
to
are
be.
not
doing
saying
it
no.
We don't
wrong.
want to
Yeah.
share you.
It'd be more fun
I'm
for
saying
you
we
guys
would.
to be at another table watching the look on my face when I'm having this Applebee's meal
Oh,
with this guy. Who's
There'll be a
like,
hole in the menu right through the chicken fajita roll up to make sure that I make
then-
sure.
See me? See me? Am I okay over here?
I'm like your stage mom. Don't
I
forget
know,
that.
I
And
know
Dean
that.
will come on Nikki's back.
Again.
Don't come on my back, guys. I mean, we're not friends anymore. I just think that's simple. It's a great rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All women should start to enforce it now.
Yeah, how long was
And
he
yeah.
there? How long was that? Just makes no sense. You would know he was jerking off for 20 minutes, right?
Even worse, in the story, it's supposedly they were doing Bible study at the same time. Just
What?
saying.
What?
They
This
met
gets-
doing Bible study in school. That's how long they've known each other.
That's how I met my priest.
He came on your back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It was
Bible
Dean
study.
in a priest outfit. The body of Christ.
And peace to you.
I think he's been father enough. So, all right, what do we got coming up?
October 6th, I'm opening up for TMI Hollywood, the improv
Oh,
group.
nice.
Yeah. That's at the Hudson Theater. And that's it. How about you?
I'm headlining Caroline's October 30th, and I'm performing at RuPaul's Drag Con. And just did the one in New York. It was the first LGBTQ stand-up showcase, and I'm doing it in England in January, which I'm super excited
Awesome.
about.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome.
That's great. I'm at the Carolina Comedy Club, Myrtle Beach, October 2nd to the 6th. Tiff's Comedy Club in Morris Plain, New Jersey, October 11th and 12th. The Las Vegas Laugh Factory, October 21st to 27th. And then the I'm doing a military tour, which is pretty cool. I'm going to Greenland.
Nice.
in,
That's
in
incredible.
November.
You should bring
Um,
fleshlights for them. They would love you forever.
Yeah,
Just
but-
hand out fleshlights as like at the merch table.
Oh my
Buy
God, that's a
something,
great
get a free
idea.
fleshlight. Yeah,
I'd love to see him transport those.
That's
I would too. I'd ship them there for him.
I would love
yeah,
to
like,
see him.
what are you bringing into the country? Just,
40
Lisa.
flashlights.
I'm bringing Lisa.
I'm bringing my friend in different forms.
Does this look familiar?
Oh, can you imagine trying to explain? I'm bringing my friend. How are you bringing your friend in this box? Well, it's in like pieces of her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
It's
her
like
ass
ashes,
and her
but she's
vagina.
still alive, thank
Like,
God.
Over here, please, sir.
she brings joy.
And what about you? Tell us where we could
Yes, where can
hear
we
you on
listen to
Sirius
you? Where can we
XM.
see you?
Monday night is Lisa Ann does fantasy at 10 p.m. Friday night is Friday Night Fantasy at 8 p.m., both on Fantasy Sports Radio. Also, I'm doing big promo this year for Bovada. You can use my promo code at BVLisa1000. They'll match 50% up to $1,000. So that's me right now at The Real Lisa Ann, my Twitter, my Instagram. You can find my link to help me reach my goal for the Walk to End Alzheimer.
Oh, and then one more thing. I got a new special on Amazon Prime. Adam Hunter is still broke. Amazon Prime.
Can I watch it right tonight?
You can watch it tonight.
I'm super
I would
excited
be
about
honored.
this.
I'd be honored.
Damn, I have to watch that.
I might
Yeah.
make my friends stream it with me, and we'll sit on the couch and do
Oh, that'll be
Skype.
great.
I'm not going to watch it tonight because I'm busy tonight.
I'm busy this month.
I'm busy. Yeah, I'm busy for the next month.
He's busy.
I love you.
I love
Thank
you
you for
more.
coming on
I,
today.
I love you. Thank you for your butt.
Oh, anytime.
And thank
This
you for
butt's
doing
for
the show.
you.
This butt's for you. And thank you for doing the show. You're
Of course.
absolutely
Thanks for having me.
lovely. That's Daddy Issues, everyone. Thanks for listening.